Hey there YouTube, I'm Joe and you're watching Ink&Iron, and today I have something a little bit different for you. I'm going to pretend I'm a knife designer and I'm actually going to sketch out a knife design. If this video sounds familiar, that is because Brian from Slicey Dicey actually did his own video designing a knife, and that was like literally 2 days after I had the idea for this video. He did his video and I was like, man, I should have just turned the camera on and just went with it. So I'm kind of making up for lost time here. Now, Brian went for a design that was his ideal sort of production knife, and I'm going to take this in a sort of different direction. I want to make a knife that is highly recommendable, and what I mean by that is, you know, something like an Opinel or say a Paramilitary 2, where, you know, somebody new to the knife game is like, hey man, I want a really good knife, what should I get? And I want you to say my knife. So that is my goal today. And yeah, so I'm going to go for good ergonomics. I would like something ambidextrous if possible, and user serviceability is going to be a factor for me as well. So yeah, as far as like lock design and stuff like that, I don't really have any ideas. But if you made it this far into the video, please hit like and feel free to subscribe to my channel. I do all kinds of things around here: fountain pens, knives, EDC gear, roller balls, and now officially, you know, drawing, sketching videos. So if you like that kind of content, stick around. My goal here is to also have a knife that is legal in my state of Colorado, and the maximum blade length here is 3.5 inches. So it's going to be something approximately the size of a Manix 2. Yeah, this is a really good knife. I love this knife, and I have recommended this knife before. So this is going to be some of the inspiration today, as well as this is a Native 5. I find these both to be very comfortable, very lightweight, very carryable, and they are both fairly good in both hands. So you can see the clip is swappable to either side, so I'm going to have to make a concession for the clip to be moved. So yeah, let's get started. Let me rearrange some things to make this easier. Okay, so I think I have to tape these pieces of paper together. Luckily they have a dot grid pattern on there, and this is a Rhodia dot grid pad. If you've never tried a Rhodia pad, you're missing out. You should really consider looking it up. They are inexpensive, and this is sort of the threshold of good paper as far as like pen enthusiasts go. So if you're a knife person and you're looking to get into pens, grab yourself a Rhodia dot pad. You can't go wrong. Okay, so after much taping, I have finally secured my 2 sheets of paper here. Let's get a general sense of how big we're going to go here. This is the tip of the Manix 2. Here's our tail. Okay, our blade length ends right about here. Okay, anyway, here's where our blade is going to end. Here's about where our tip begins. Here's the butt of the knife. And then one more thing I'm curious about: where does the clip come to? Clip landing is going to be somewhere, I guess somewhere in here. And if you're wondering why I'm using the Manix 2 as a little bit of a guide, I just really like the knife. I'm kind of thinking this is going to end up as a lockback knife, and if that's the case, then I can just do one clean line from tip to tail here. And so I think I'm going to give that a shot. Trying to keep it loose initially, and then we'll refine the design as we go. Okay, that may end up too tall. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty close to the curve of the Manix there. I don't know about this sort of reverse thing there. Sorry, I'm going to be muttering to myself a lot. This is, if you can't tell already, this is going to be a pretty long video. Okay, that's too fat because we are definitely Manix territory there. Do I want a leaf blade? I don't know if I want a leaf shape. Let's mix it up. Oh God, what is that? Kind of a harpoon? No, it's a little too much. If you're wondering what this is a kneadable eraser. And if you're going to do art, you really need to get one of these because it is the original fidget toy. Look at that. You can just knead it like dough and then squish it back into shape and then use it to erase. It's very nice. All right. And no, I don't intend to put a Spidey hole on these. I don't know that Spyderco would be my manufacturer that I'd submit this design to. Gotta get my arm in here. Come on. Okay, I think we're looking still pretty close in size compared to the native. Okay, all right. Do I want a finger choil? Finger choil is pretty good for using both hands, so I think at least a little bit, because it'll also act as a sharpening choil. Let's see, now these have sort of a nubbin, so I guess I'm going to end up with some kind of nubbin here. And then I'm not going to go quite as harshly, not going to do a sort of secondary curvature as much as these do. Like a nice chunky handle personally. Alright, now how do I want to handle the back end of the knife? These kind of slope down. Let me see. So that kind of keeps your palm from getting beat up if you're doing really hard cutting. I don't know. Should we make it pointy? Why not? How does that look? Alright, I'm thinking this handle is too thick. Like too wide in this dimension. Now I understand this curvature, I guess. Alright. Let's see, how do I grip a choil? I typically put my thumb right there. Alright, that explains the jimping here. Let's roll in another knife here for a comparison. Let's get a different manufacturer. Here's the Cut Jack, another choil knife. And we just have a very slight protrusion of the blade grind. Okay, maybe here, let's swap these in as I consider them. So instead of making this curve, I could maybe bring the blade, let's bring it straight up. Whoa, this is interesting. Okay. Okay, alright, I kind of like this like sort of arrowhead design we have going on. Maybe I'll keep rolling with that. And then, let's see, just have a gentle sort of curve. Well, let's keep it going. Let's bring this down a little bit. Then fairly straight. Alright, we didn't take off a whole world of thickness, but we are getting there. Yeah, I like a little bit of a point here at the end. I think that's gonna aesthetically be a little bit more pleasing. And yeah, any of you who are watching this who are like, oh my god, you just redesigned, you know, whatever knife, let me know what knife this looks like, because I'm trying not to be derivative, but hey, it might happen. Alright, so if we have a lock back on this blade, I'm guessing it's gonna land somewhere in here. Got some cat hair there. Alright, I'm gonna erase a little bit, do a little jump cut. Okay, and if you're like, hey Joe, you seem pretty certain about this design, that means I'm doing a great job of faking it. You know, fake it till you make it. How about like a hard edge? Why not? But not too hard, because I don't want this to bite the hand too badly. This is getting kind of strange. Is that choil too big? No, it's about right actually. That is pretty close to the cut jack choil. So I think I'll leave it at that because I like cut jack shape, and this blade shape, despite not having much belly, is fairly similar in this area right here. Oh god, I hate not being able to rotate the paper around. If you do art, you know what I'm talking about. Our handle ends somewhere around here. So here's the thing about how a handle ends. It typically, I'm going for the liner lock on this one, lovely. So it typically works with how the blade ends. So you can see the blade stock ends right here, and then we have the handle so that from the side it looks aesthetically pleasing. On the cut jack, since it's a liner lock, you have more stock that's still remaining up here, so they just round it out with the handle. So because I'm doing a liner lock, that is going to mean that my blade shape underneath is going to end somewhere like this, roughly. So let's see, how does the -5 deal with that? It meets up perfectly with how this curve comes in. So I don't know where the pivot would be. I guess somewhere in this region, roughly. And if it's gonna meet up around here-ish. Alright, so I gave myself a few minutes to think on that last jump cut. And let's see here. I'm going to rework how this blade is facing. So what I'm not a fan of in my current design is that I don't have a straight portion here and a belly near the tip. I really enjoy that design. So yeah, let me rework this. It's the nice thing about sketching. There are no permanent mistakes, not yet anyway. Okay, this is going to make it easier to cut on a flat surface, and what I mean by that, let me show you. If you don't have any belly at the tip, right, you're going to have to get your hand in the way as you're holding the knife, and that doesn't work. You can see clearly I'm not cutting this ruler. So yeah, if I move that tip up a little bit, then I can cut. Well, let's bring in the pair of 3 for some good measure here. Again, we can see that stock is aligned with the handle right there by virtue of that compression lock. Okay. So let's give it some belly and then a fairly straight portion for power cuts as you choke up on the knife using the choil. Yeah, I think that's the blade shape that we're gonna stick with right now. So I am a fan of a hollow grind. So let's say, this part's gonna be real tough. All right, let's roll in some new meat here. This is the CRKT LCK. This is a hollow grind, and it does have a forward choil, so I'd like to bring that guy in here. And then Spyderco Yojimbo 2 with this ferocious Wharncliffe and then staggering hollow grind. These are going to be my inspiration here. And I'm just kind of looking at the curvature of their handles and then how the grind lines play off that. In the Yojimbo, they don't really seem to read each other. Over in the CRKT, we kind of come to this area is like parallel, and then they sort of sweep away from each other. So I'm more of a fan of this sort of organic look here. So let's see. I have to decide simultaneously what my handle looks like. Just keep these marks alive so I can see where the handle has to end. Man, this is so much more challenging than I thought it was going to be. Let's see, if the handle comes like this, I guess I can bring it up. And I want something more dramatic, so I don't know, is that too weird? Let's see. Okay, so I'm deciding how this is going to be in the pocket. I guess it's not, I don't know, it's not that crazy. All right, let's try and center it up a little bit more. See if, whoa, definitely just touched that Yojimbo. Let me scoot that out of the way. I'm getting too focused on the drawing, not realizing there are live blades right here. You might be asking, like, why am I going for this handle shape? Because I feel like it and it's my knife, you know? Doesn't have to fit your idea of what it should look like. Alright, I'm no longer sold on the flats back here. There we go. Now I feel like the back end of the handle echoes the pivot area. Is that positioned properly? Yeah, more or less. Okay. And when I'm all said and done here, I'm going to outline it in Sharpie, and then we'll erase all the lines and we'll see what we have left. Alright, very important question. Do I want jimping? Probably not up here. I envision this more as a swedge, like a... Right, this is kind of a thinned out portion. Maybe? Let me see. So going with that hollow grind aesthetic. It's a little too sharp of a corner. Okay, this is totally not the knife that I didn't really envision a knife before designing this, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I was not thinking it would be anything like this. Like, yeah, again, not that I thought real hard about it because I wanted to do it live, but this is fascinating right now. So let's see. Is this wedge too much? Because I guess this is going to stick out right over here when it's closed. So maybe I chill out a little bit with the degree that this ramp goes. down a little bit. Just make it more moderate. Okay. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that being a swedge. And let's not bring it too far that way. Bring it like right about here. Swedge it out. Cool. Okay. Oh, so many lines intersecting. It's quite challenging to see. It's getting harder and harder to see what is actually going on here. And I am suddenly realizing how many choices you have to make as a knife designer, right? Because then I'm like, oh, maybe this portion is black, and this is a satin hollow grind, and this is a, is this swedge cut out here black or satin? And what color is the hardware? And there's a lot going on. All right, so I said this was going to be a sort of everybody's knife, and that means, here you go. There's your stupid lanyard hole that I don't like using. I would prefer the lanyard hole to be more in line with what's on the Para 3 rather than the Manix 2 lanyard hole. Look at the size of this thing. Unnecessary. Nobody needs that. No one's putting a rope through their Manix 2. This is plenty. So yeah, let me make sure I'm not going too crazy here. Okay, there's your lanyard hole. Now, shut up and don't say I never gave you anything. Okay, I decided this nubbin is just a little bit too sharp. Just gonna round it off slightly. There we go. It looks a little more hand-friendly. Oh, the reconsidering and re-sketching. Man, I don't know how people like Ken Onion just crank out, oh, me and CRKT made 20 designs this year. Like, dude, how do you even do that? Okay, a little bit of jimping right in here. And then I do like how Spyderco does this sort of jimping on the liner. I think it's very subtle, and then when you're bearing down on the knife, it actually helps you out. So something like that would hopefully be doable in the liner portion, probably up to about here, just to give your thumb like a landing pad. But that's way down the line for this design. And again, I'm pretending that this is going to go anywhere. So I'm starting to think about clip design, and then I was checking out the cut jack here, and I totally forgot that a backspacer is an option. So let me see. Can you do a backspacer on a lockback? Not really, huh? Okay. A lot of things to consider here. Yeah, here's another example. Here's the Dragonfly 2. No backspacer. This back portion is just solid, and would probably be a pain in the neck to try and swap out aftermarket ones anyway, so let's not worry about that too much. Let's take a look at the clip though. So if you're looking at it vertically from, let's make the lanyard hole and the pivot how we're measuring verticality here, right about like that. We can see that the clip is biased towards the spine of the blade. So we're going to have a clip that attaches over here somewhere, probably ends up somewhere around here as far as landing goes. All right, now what kind of clip design does this have? By the way, shout out to Slicey Dicey for doing this as a live stream. I have so many cuts in this video where I'm just sitting here pondering what to do next. So yeah, dude, I am impressed that you were able to just do this on the fly. All right, so, geez, let's see. What do we got going on here? Obviously the end of it is going to be rounded. Maybe we cut it out. Let's see. So you have two kind of options here. You can have a flat plane that gets bolted on. You can kind of, yeah, same thing here, but also a cutout. We have a loop over here, although you need access to the hardware to switch the clip. Okay, and then taking a look at this, we can see again that if we line that up, we're heading towards the spine of the knife. Okay. So let me try and find some examples of pocket clips that I really enjoy. This one's definitely going to be one. So let's see. The Spyderco loop over clip I think is very well executed on the Chaparral lightweight here. And this is also a lock back. So let me see here. How distant is the lock back? Okay, to interact with the choil, your finger ends up right around here. So let me move this. Okay, that's gonna be decent there. All right, I like the loop over wire clip. I like a nice, pretty deep carry. It's okay to have a little knife sticking out, but I don't want to broadcast, have it way down here and just be like, look at my knife. You can see visibly the blade sticking out of my pocket, or, if you've got it in a purse or something like that, you don't want to be broadcasting that you have a knife necessarily all the time. So yeah, I'm going to try and make it a little more subtle. So I like that one. This is the H6S1 from Real Steel. If you've never seen this knife before, it has the best thumb stud design of all time. And yeah, that's my opinion, but it is a fact that that is my opinion. Okay, and then, who can be mad at the Casey Lynch pocket clip? These are wonderful loop over titanium clips. It's a little finicky to try and get a screwdriver in here and work with these screws, so I probably won't do this sort of eye hole opening, although design wise it does reflect nicely. It mirrors the round hole towards the end of the blade, so yeah, I can see why he did it like that. Alright, so here's our clip inspiration. I'm going to need a minute to think about this. Okay, so I've been looking at my blades for a while now, and you know what I've decided? I've decided that since I gave everybody a lanyard hole, then I am not doing a 4-position pocket clip. I think 2 positions, right and left-handed with a lockback, is going to be enough for most people. And I'm sorry, tip down people, but you know what? Not on this design. I'll make you another one. Okay, I think I'm gravitating towards the Real Steel style. Quite like it. It's easy to access the hardware. You only need 2 screws, and it's just very simple. The pocket clip doesn't have to be the most durable part of the knife. That would be the blade and the lock system, if you're asking me. So let's define our center line here. I'm probably gonna angle it a little bit more. Right. There's our center line. So if we're going to loop it over, it's going to be flat on this end, rounded. here. Probably a little bit of some kind of duckbill styling or something like that. A little bit of an hourglass shape. Okay, so God, this part is so hard. Okay. God, trying to keep your lines parallel without rotating the paper is like my worst nightmare. I hate this right now. I'm tempted to do a sort of pointy end, but I know that's only going to suck as a pocket clip because your hand is going to be interacting with it. So I'm going to fight my initial impulse, just kind of round it. Let's see, what does it look like if I just do it straight? Okay, I mean, we're in a very utilitarian design right now. All substance, no flash. How do we add some flash? Well, let's see, we're gonna need a cutout for accessing our hardware. Okay, it just occurred to me, so there's going to be a bend right about here, so we could maybe do a little teardrop cutout right here, and maybe bring these corners in a little bit. Maybe not. Okay, that pocket clip looks a hot mess, but I'm going to clean it up in just a second here. And then one final consideration, do I want a sort of bolster? You might be going, why? Why would you want a bolster? But I feel like it lends itself to it. Am I wrong? I don't know. Drop me a comment and tell me whether or not I should keep the bolster, because I'm just going to keep it as a hypothetical for now. Alright, so I'm going to take a Sharpie fine liner here, or what do they call this? Ultra fine point. Sharpie ultra fine point. I'm going to outline this, and yeah, be back in just a minute. Okay, so yeah, we did it. Well, I did it. You didn't do much. Let's take a look. I think it's got pretty good lines. And yes, I taped this paper in place. If you're wondering what the heck's going on there. Alright, so this is the knife design, and I guess now I have to name it. And there's going to be another cut here because I'm going to need a minute name. So, I'm going to leave it up to you viewers. If you've made it this far in the video, please drop your name suggestion in the comments below, and then feel free to comment on each other's comments about the name. Because really, I don't know. And for, future knife designs, I would probably leave it up to the people anyway. Like I said, I was going for a knife that would work in a lot of hands and ambidextrously. I think our proportions are a little bit off. I'd probably make this entire thing about 5 to 10% smaller, because I was looking at the size compared to the Manix, And yeah, somehow it got away from me. Like I've ended up in the same size range, and then from like here to the tip of the blade is like 3 3/4 inches, so it's way too long. So yeah, the whole thing would be smaller. Pocket clip would be obviously better looking and larger proportionately, and then I'm take it or leave it on the bolster and on the swedge actually, because like if you take away the swedge, I think that it's probably a friendlier design, but I do like a swedge. It adds a visual element to it. All right, anyway, like I said, please leave a name suggestion in the comments below, and if there's a knife manufacturer out there that likes my design, maybe I can learn SketchUp, and maybe we can make something happen. All right, anyway, I've been Joe and you've been watching Ink&Iron. Thank you so much for making it this far. If you like it, hit like, hit that bell for notifications, and of course check out my Patreon for more free content. I will probably color this design in just to have fun and post it on Patreon. Just a little something for the patrons. All right, thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.